Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back, sort of back to Vintage Story. We're actually starting up a new series on Vintage Story. You know, we covered this a long time ago, back when the game was fairly new, and purely, it's something I'd been kind of keeping an eye on. You know, I'm still on the Discord and stuff, and kind of keeping an eye on it, wanting to come back to this at some point, and purely posted a video on my Discord the other day. Well, it was during the weekend. It was basically the trailer for kind of the new update, another massive update for Vintage Story. There's been quite a few. This game has seen a lot of active development. You know, since the game first came about, it's seen a lot of consistent updating, and the game's evolved a lot since we were last on it. And you know, it was a lot of fun back then, and there's a ton more content, both quality of life stuff and just overall content. There's classes, there's the rift system, a lot of new crafting technology has been implemented. You know, back when we played, there was light, kind of what was eventually going to be technology. There was some of that, but the food system's being expanded upon, and there's all kinds of fun things like cheese making and stuff. So I figured, well, it's time, and now that we've got our series down to a reasonable level, pretty much with just ATM Spellbound as kind of my main focus, and then have this on the side as well. I think that's reasonable. We're going to start a world here, to Asgard LP, and there's a few different options here. We're going to be going with standard, but there is also exploration. So if you want less focus on like combat and survival, you can do exploration. There's wilderness survival, which is a little bit more hardcore-ish, to where you don't spawn at the same spot over and over again. It's within 5,000 blocks whenever you die. And there's also creative world. But standard's a pretty good balance, I think, where we still have to deal with survival, but we don't just have that completely random spawn. So I do think we're going to go with standard, and we're going to go ahead and get our world creating. But yeah, there's been a ton of content. I've played around with it a little bit periodically over the last, couple years. But this will be my first actual, let's get into the world and do something. It's our first series since then. And back when we played it before, it was when animals were just added, and cooking was kind of coming together and stuff. Also the handbook, we'll take a look at that here in a second. But we're going to be doing our character creation. Let's go with breeches for our underwear. Our voice type. Let's see. We're going to go with clarinet, which is actually the instrument that I played in high school, in fact. Fun little fact. It wasn't the one that I had wanted to play. My hands, they said they weren't big enough for saxophone, so I ended up playing clarinet. I wasn't in band for long. I was just in band for middle school, but I did play clarinet. We're going to go with low. Our hair type. Let's see here. And as you can see, there's a lot more to character creation than there was back when we played before as well. There's a lot of content in the game that's been added since the last time that we played. Let's see. I think we're gonna go with the layered hairstyle, and we're gonna go with like a back bun maybe, or I actually like the tied top knot. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the tied top knot because that's actually a bit more how I wear my hair in real life. Our facial expression. Let's see. We'll go with kind, I think. The mustache. Well, let's deal with our beard first. Let's go with the anchor, I think. Yeah, we're going to go with the anchor, I think. Our mustache. So many options. I don't think that time passes while we're in character creation, but I could be wrong. We're going to go with the pencil mustache. And let's see. I think we're going to go slate gray in our skin color. We're going to go with like skin 14, eye color. Now bear in mind we'll be wearing clothes. Most of the time we won't be running around naked. We'll go right in there, maybe. Now if we look at our dressed version, this is more like what we'll look like. So when we're running around naked, it doesn't look as good as when we got clothes on. So we're going to go with that. We're going to go ahead and confirm, and now we get to choose our class. So commoner, we have no positives or negatives, but then there's a few different classes here. I'm not going to go into detail about all of these. You can read them here. Pretty much all of them will have exclusive crafts, like for example bows and arrows, but then they also get, for example, walk speed, animal loot, and animal harvesting speed. We got range damage and ranged accuracy, but we would lose melee damage and ore drop rate and mining speed. But there's a few different ones here. This is my personal favorite just because the starting gear looks cool. I mean, I think you can obtain all of this, but this one is my personal favorite. Plus, the negatives aren't too bad. We do lose some health and some range distance, and we lose some melee damage. But we get a craftable sling, and it makes us kind of sneaky. Animal sneaking range, and we get better drops from looting and from killing things and things, as well as wild crop drop rate, which is quite nice. There's Clockmaker, which would be more related to tech, and you will get this gear as like starting gear as well. Blackguard is kind of like your melee. It actually looks really cool with this outfit. And you get exclusive craftable Blackguard short sword and shield. And then there's the Tailor. Oh, I really like the Tailor with this outfit, to be honest. But yeah, I think we're gonna go with Malefactor. I just think they just look so cool, to be honest. So we're going to go ahead and confirm class. If we hit F5, you know, we can see our... oh, wait, it's F5 again. We can see our character in the world. In the world. Oh, we got a really dense forest area. And, of course, we're going to be looking for sticks. And we're going to be looking for flint and certain types of stone. I don't know... this one can be napped. That's perfect. It does look like there's some ore here. Copper ore somewhere underground. If you find those fragments, of course, that means that there's going to be ore underground. Now, of course, starting out, we're basically going to be doing like general survival stuff. I could nap here, but I think I'm going to nap once we get out of these, like at least to a clearing, like somewhere here would be good. But we're going to be doing just general survival stuff to get started with. We're going to place our stones down, shift right click to nap these. A couple things that we're going to need. First and foremost, knife blade for starters. And we're going to go ahead and nap the edge of this. And of course this makes 2 knife blades. And when it comes to napping, just to help you speed it up, just clip off the edges like that, and it's going to break off the extra little bits there. And then let's go ahead and do a axe head also. These are actually really quick to do because just run up along the side. All that excess part falls off. This, of course, hasn't changed much since the last time that we were on here, but still want to go over it because that's been years back. And, of course, not everybody watched that either. So, and then we're going to go ahead and get a spearhead as well. That way, maybe if we find some animals, we might do a little hunting. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and turn these into actual useful tools. Might try to get another stick, just so we can make another knife. Never have too many knives. And there we go. We got our axe, our knife, and our spear. Now we really need to find water at this point. I do like these stones, though, because a lot of times you end up in places with a lot of soft stones that you can't use for napping, but these we can. And we're going to use our knife and go ahead and start gathering up some grass. We're going to need a lot of this. Well, not a ton of it, but we will need a bit. At least for this first day, and it doesn't hurt to gather up a bit of it. And it is worth noting this game does like heavily support mods and has a lot of really nice add-ons for mods. Like, for example, if you set up a server, you can have people join. They don't have to download the mods now, and they'll get automatically downloaded when they join the server, which is, I think, really, really cool. It's a lot more... I think Minecraft is pretty mod-friendly, but I think Vintage Story takes it to a whole nother level. And Vintage Story has been kind of designed by people that play Minecraft and has worked to kind of meld seamlessly like Minecraft and like Terra Firma Craft type mechanics without being super like soul crushing like Terra Firma Craft can be at times, and to be a lot less to me personally a lot less convoluted than Terra Firma Craft can be. So but we're going to be gathering cattails. Ideally, I would like to have at least 40 cattails to get us started. Oh yeah, my one knife already broke. Oh, is that a rift we've got here? Yep, you can see my little gear starting to spin as we get close to that. We're going to avoid that for now. We definitely don't want any part of that. Because we are just looking for cattails. Oh, it's a little dog. It's a wolf pup, which could mean that there is a mama wolf somewhere. Let's stay focused. I'm going to get some more stuff, because during the night it wouldn't hurt for us to have some stuff to nap for like the next day. But ideally I'd like to get out of this really dense forest. Find a place that we can get some berries and things, because we're already starting to take a hit on our hunger. And getting some berries or something like that would be good, or some vegetables, because of course, if you recall in Vintage Story, initially your crops, you're going to get those from finding wild crops. You don't just break grass like in, say, Minecraft or something. We actually need to find like some little areas of, like, say, wild turnips or wild grains and stuff. So we need to keep an eye out for that. Looks like I've got a lot of dense forest, but maybe if I go over this mountain range, maybe. Or maybe I'll just head off in this direction. Because I don't want to spend too much of the day here, really, because we are going to have to get food. The red bar, of course, is our health. The green bar over there is our hunger. So we want to be kind of mindful of the hunger. Day one, you can get meat. Like if we come across, say, like it's a little bit scary hunting, because a lot of the stuff that you would hunt is passive until you start attacking it, and then it's like, oh, actually, speak of the devil. Goats are going to be a great source, especially with our class, because we get a lot better like animal harvest and stuff. However, these things are also going to fight back, so that's something for us to be mindful of. Water is... Oh, here we go. Water is a really good place to fight animals, though. Because we can kind of outmaneuver them in the water. Now, I'm not planning on living or coming through here a lot, so I'm actually going to take these cranberry bushes with us, and that way we can set them up somewhere a little bit more permanent once we find us a good place to call home. Here we go. And bear in mind, the reeds are too tall, but I tend to only break the top, and that's because if we break both of them, of course, they're not going to grow back. So this way we can kind of keep them growing. Another thing to bear in mind with Vintage Story that I absolutely love is there is winter to be mindful of. Kind of like if you ever played Don't Starve, you do kind of want to prepare for winter and be mindful that it does exist. And when winter hits, you're not going to be able to grow crops. Animals are going to have less meat on them. And you're going to have to kind of plan for the cold because you do need to stay warm during the cold months. So it is a little while, at least on a new world, it's a little while until winter hits. But when winter gets here, we need to ideally have, you know, a place to call home. And we need to be kind of set up with things to do and food basically put up to have for the winter. Also, if you take a look here, if we scroll over, say, the cranberries that we just picked, you can see they're perishable, they're fresh for 4 days. And then there's some information here about what food category they are, how much saturation they give, and whenever you juice them, how much juice you're going to get. If we hit C, you can actually see your nutrition groups. So ideally we want to max all these out, but you know, it's a new world. All we have is a little bit of fruit because we have consumed a little bit of cranberries. I'm going to consume a little bit more here. We kind of want to stay on the move here at first because we're going to need to find more food. But depending, I think we still got a little bit of time before night. I'm going to need to go chop some wood. I was just in a forest. I probably should have chopped some wood while I was there, but raids are like the biggest thing though, because the hotbar that I've got there, this is the extent of my inventory at the moment. However, if we do that, we can actually make ourselves our first inventory upgrades, which are hand baskets. Equip those there, and we have a bit more kind of what's considered backpack slots there. I'm not going to gather any more raids right this second. But what I am going to do... Oh, we're actually getting some rain already. No, let's actually... This is a rather big... Oh, there's a trader cart over there. But I think I'm going to head back into the water. Is that a new... I think it's a new... Yeah, it is. I tell you what, we're going to do a little bit of hunting here. Because he's actually in a really awkward spot for himself. There we go. Yeah, if you hold right click with the spear, you can throw it. You'll notice that, I mean, this thing has a ton of health for us to try to get through. At the moment with just this dinky little starter spear. And bear in mind, like right now this is running, but if I hadn't stabbed it so much there at the beginning, it would probably be fighting back right now. Yeah, there we go. Because they will fight back, but we had done so much damage to it that it was wounded and was trying to run away from us. So, oh, our knife actually, there we go. Let's go ahead and take, yeah, we got 16 servings of meat. So once night hits, we're going to have a lot of meat to cook up. So it's kind of important that I get a bunch of wood so we can keep our fire going tonight. So let me just chop a bit of this. I'd also like to make some torches as well. We've got plenty of dry grass, so we'll be fine on that. This tree must be massive. It's taking forever to break. Also worth noting, when you cut a tree, cut it down to the bottom, and it's going to break the entire tree. And how long it takes to break is dependent on how big the tree is. This one's taking a very long time, so I do suspect that it's seeing the tree as being pretty big. Because sometimes it might connect over in like a diagonal or something like that. That might be the case here. There we go. No, that was just one piece of wood. Wow, okay. It must have been all the leaves, because I think there was a lot of leaves attached. This one should be a lot more wood. I probably wasted a lot of time breaking that one, to be honest. There we go. There's a bunch of wood. Well, let me go ahead and cut down one more. And that should be sufficient. I don't want to completely break our axe. Oh, I got really close, though. Don't like the fact that I didn't find any vegetables. So I'm going to be running completely on the meat. Which is fine, because meat needs to be cooked and used. Because once it's cooked, it's only like good for like 4 days, I want to say, or something like that. Though it might be about time for us to start setting up for shelter for the night. And we do got black currants. Don't mind if we do. And red currants. Awesome. I always like getting a variety. Like, especially day one like this. Super nice. We have some carrots, but they're not fully grown, it doesn't look like. They're 5 out of 7 on all that. You can see up there at the top, 5 out of 7 on their growth stage. The nutrients we'll get into a little bit later, but it also shows what kind of nutrients they will want when it comes to growing them. Because crop rotation and stuff is important on Vintage Story, of course. Yeah, I think it's about time that we set up for some shelter. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up just... Oh, there's a lot of baby chickens. A whole little group of chickens here. I'm not really set up for chickens just yet, but I think we'll set up somewhere just right in here. Should be fine. Honestly, I think I'd rather set up down by the shore. If I'm being perfectly honest, like somewhere right in here should be good. So what we're going to do, let's take our axe. We're going to take a bit of our wood and just cut that down and get ourselves some firewood. And then place our shift and right click our grass down, and then shift and right click 4 pieces of firewood. Let's see if I remember this. Fire starter, I think, is grass and, yeah, 2 sticks and some grass to get our fire starter. And then we can just shift and hold right click to start our fire. Usually takes a few tries. Usually not more than like 5. There we go. We got our fire started. And we're going to go ahead and just open this up. Let me actually grab this out of my backpack. We'll go ahead and open this up and throw our meat in. And then let's hit H. This opens up our guidebook. And you can see, like, for example, if you click here, you can see all the items within the game. And this kind of works like, basically think of it like your JEI. You know, we can click on, well, not animals, but, for example, if we wanted to look at, for example, like a steel scythe, we can click there and see the crafting recipe for that. Steel scythe head is made by smithing. And you can see just kind of like information about all the different things within the game. So, and I think generally if there's a mod that adds stuff, it would add stuff into, into here as well. So, but we're just playing with straight vanilla Vintage Story at the moment. Now our meat is starting to cook. You can see if we tab over this or hover over this, you can see a cooking temperature. So it's going to cook at 150 degrees Celsius. It cooks into cooked red meat. And you can see the temperature. You can also see it right here. And once it hits 260 degrees is when it turns into our cooked red meat. Oh, I need to refuel this. Let me grab... You want to keep this going with firewood. So, I might have jumped the gun a little bit. I think the sun's starting to set now, so that's fine. There's also some guides here if you need like a starter guide or something like that. Here's all the guides. But we might reference them for certain things later on, but for right now I think we're good. Let's see. Let me combine those and dump them in here. Now the first night we're basically just going to be cooking up meat. Actually, I need to eat. But red meat is actually pretty good for our saturation. So we'll go ahead and top that off. like I said, animals, a lot of them will fight back, but if you find a situation like there, where I was able to damage the animal down enough that it would just run and not try to fight back, then it's pays off a lot to do a little bit of hunting, to be honest. There's lead down there somewhere. But let's go ahead. I'm going to do a little bit more napping because my spear is almost broken. My axe is broke. I'm almost done with knives. I don't have a shovel at the moment, which we're going to need. Or it helps to have it. So I'm going to go ahead and nap some more tools real quick. And we're going to go ahead and get a shovel. I'm not going to get a hoe just yet because I think we're going to nomad it for just a little bit. At least until we find that perfect spot that's like, yeah, we got to build here. Now, I don't have a lot in terms of... Go dying on me. Not a big deal if it dies, because it is fairly easy to start a new fire, but ideally I'd like to not have to do that, if we can avoid it. Also worth noting, having a lot of spears is not a bad thing, because bear in mind that whenever you throw those, you know, you got to pick them back up. So having a bunch of them, you can just chuck them like constantly, you know. One thing I am suffering on already is storage space, but that's fine. Carrying all these around with me is what's taking up a lot of my space, but actually these berries will eat quick though. And they don't keep for a long time, so might as well go ahead and eat them. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead, while that's cooking, I'm going to see if I can find a little bit more, oh, scared me, like a few more sticks maybe, before it gets dark. We can also break like these leaves, for example. We can get sticks from them, and if we had shears, we get a little bit better chance for getting sticks, but once my food gets done cooking, I'd like to make some torches, because it does get very, very dark in the world when night hits, so. Okay, so how are we doing on meat? We got 2 more pieces of meat cooking. As you can see, you go through a lot of firewood during the night, usually. But we do have 27 sticks, which I think is pretty good. Oh, we got birch seed. Now, nighttime is fairly long, so just be prepared. Try to have something planned to do during the night. Unfortunately, I did most of my night project. I kind of jumped the gun slightly there. But that's okay. That's alright. It's actually quite scenic here. But let's go ahead. I'm going to make like... Oh, I don't have like any inventory space though. That's the problem. I really don't need this birch seed. Let's be real. The inventory battle is real. Let's go ahead and make ourselves, well, might as well go with like 16. Let's make 16 torches. And then we're going to take these. These are going to make us extinguished torches. We can throw them in there and get that kind of cooking up. And it's going to make us the ignited torches. These are right here. Now, over time, once we set these down, because we can put these down kind of like torches in Minecraft, but they will extinguish after, you know, so long. So if you go mining with these and you put them down, just know that eventually it is going to be dark down there. If you're just using torches for your light. Now, generally, I've noticed I don't tend to get a lot of mobs like the first night. So that's usually not a really big concern for me as far as like protecting ourselves, because we're out in the middle of nowhere, like out in the open. It's not an ideal place to be, but especially here, I don't think we're going to be bothered by like wolves. I think wolves are like my biggest concern the first couple days, because they are a little bit scary. But one thing I am going to do really quick is let's make ourselves a wooden club so we can smack things with it. I have like no inventory space. I'm just going to throw that down. I don't really need it. Okay, the sun's starting to come up on after our first night, so pretty uneventful. I just hung out near the fire. But at this point, we can kind of start turning our attention more towards finding a place to actually call home. I think that's going to be kind of our next order of business. I do want to quickly run over to here, because there is a trader area over here. And I'd like to take a look at that. Actually, I might as well grab these cranberries as we go. We will be replanting these berry bushes, probably in the next episode. I think next episode will be starting to do a little bit of homesteading, because we'll be ready for that, I think. These are some other kind of berry bush, aren't they? Red currants. Oh, it is picking them up. I just didn't notice it. Oh, we got a rift over there. That's not great, because what that's going to do is that's going to spawn mobs. We don't really want to go near that. So we're going to try to avoid that as best we can. So we'll take the slightly longer way around here. Yeah. As long as we don't get close to him, it shouldn't be a big concern for us. Oh, is this a ruin too? Ah, it is a ruin. Nothing in that reed basket though. But this will give us... A lot of this stuff we're not going to be able to break. Because the claiming system... the claiming system, these guys will have technically claimed it. So I probably won't be able to, like, take things out of here. I might be able to use their bed, though. Oh, rusty gears. I don't really have any space. And I don't know... Like I said, I don't know that I can take those. I know certain things are going to be claimed. So... but if we open this guy up, he sells a shield, some bracers, just a variety of different things. We can actually buy a linen sack for 2 gears, which is pretty cheap if we had some gears, but we don't currently have any. And this is the stuff that we can sell to them. So I don't really have anything to sell or buy, so... Alright, and they'll buy glass and treasure chest. Okay. Alright, well, we're not really in a position to do much in the way of trading at the moment, because we need to find a place to call home first. Oh, I'm liking the look of that, though. Maybe. And there's flatlands that come out away from it. That's already looking kind of promising. There's a lot of really pretty world gen within the world. But I think something like that could be kind of cool. Let's grab these. I know I'm wasting some berries at the moment. I'm going to look and see if there's maybe something that I can just toss. Because at the moment I feel like this is a lot of berries just to throw away. Oh. I see you. Yep. Water is king. It's a male wolf. Ugh. Want to kind of keep it at range because these things, if you notice... Oh, no! Okay, that's not great. Wolves are like the worst thing ever. Yeah, we're gonna go off in this direction. So now we get to talk about death. Death is very common, especially in your first few days, and generally the world is very unforgiving, as you can tell. When I saw that wolf, I should have been smart and ran away, but I thought, well, there's water, I can get it in the water. But then I tried to use the club, and the club's not really made for, like, just constantly swinging. I need to, like, wind it up and then swing. So don't just hold the button like I was doing. But whenever you die, you have, I want to say it's 10 minutes or something like that. I remember it being more than Minecraft, but not by like a ton. Oh, blueberries. I don't have the space right now. Because when I get back to my stuff, that's pretty much like a full inventory. But your items are just dumped onto the ground, kind of like, you know, vanilla Minecraft. And you got about 10 minutes or so to get back to your body. So, oh, we got a wolf there. We're gonna try to go around that wolf. Wolves are like uber dangerous, right? Also, don't mess with boars. Like in your first day, yeah, there's some turnips that are fully grown. Honestly, in this situation, it might be worth me grabbing these. I'm not going to carry the seeds with me right now because I don't have the space for that. But that way I've got some food just to kind of eat on the way. We're actually pretty close to our stuff. Not a big deal. We weren't that far. We hadn't come that far, but I thought we were actually going to get through the first episode without death. But, oh. That's pretty world gem, but that's not where I need to go, actually. But yeah, if you see a wolf, run. Just run. Yeah, there's where we set up our fire pit. So we're actually pretty close. I think we're going to make it. It's just I got to get my stuff back without getting attacked by the wolf. But a lot of times you could sneak up on them. Like I totally snuck up on that one, but then I was like, herpa derpa, let me try and poke the wolf. Bad idea. Absolutely bad idea. Right here. Did the wolf die? Yeah, the wolf must have killed me and then just died. I had exhausted him so. Okay. Well. That's fine. I'm just going to chuck this because I have like no inventory space left. And then let's harvest our dead male wolf. Let's see. Oh, we got lump of fat. That's going to be extremely useful for us. We did get some medium hide. I want it. And the bush meat I want. For sure. Problem is I'm running into like no inventory space. That's why we need a home. Because I need to be able to set up my wood and stuff. Let's just toss that. Oh, my torches got extinguished. So that's cool. And let's grab that. Okay. Now we've got to set up. We've got to get a place to call home at this point. But we'll tackle that come next episode because I know it's wrapping up point for this first episode. So next episode we're gonna work on some homesteading stuff and getting ourselves a place to call home, possibly over there because I'm really liking the look of that. But if not, there's another place that I do want to check out. So we're gonna turn our attention to that come next episode. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.